Even if you're not lucky enough to live in a state with legal cannabis, there's no doubt that you've heard of Cookies brand. Over the years, they've taken the plant medicine industry by storm. They've got over 50 dispensaries and a clothing and accessory line that helps spread the word to those of us in states perhaps not so lucky. Which is also how I personally justify the brand in this series. Cookies manages to marry two of my favorite things in life, fashion and gas. But truth be told, they've managed to do much more than just that. As of today, they stand on the precipice of being the world's first billion-dollar weed endeavor, if they're not already there. But how did it all start? How did a guy turn a job at Wendy's into the world's first cannabis empire? Well, let's find out. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the history of cookies. But as usual, before we get started, don't forget to smash that like button for me. It's the only way that the YouTube algorithms notice us and suggest us to more people. But with that being said, let's get to it. Gilbert Anthony Millam, aka Berner. His story picks up when he was 15 years old. Splitting time living with his mom in Arizona and his dad in California, he realized he needed money. So he took a job at Wendy's. He had been enticed by a window ad offering a $500 sign-on bonus at the time, but he had no intentions of being around there for long. He knew he was destined for bigger things. He worked for 2 weeks, got his check, and went out to Cali, where he bought a pack and took it back to Arizona. Once he got back, his newfound business took off instantly, and it was safe to say that he had found a better gig than flipping burgers. Eventually, at 18, he moved to Cali full-time and took a job at his local dispensary, the Hemp Center. He started out on the ground level and worked his way up to bud tender, all of which while simultaneously pursuing his music career. You see, Berner was smart. The only reason he kept the job at the dispensary is to make connections for a larger plan that he had in mind later on. While tending bud, he noticed a weak spot in the market. Vendors would come in with their stock, but it often didn't have names for it or the presentation was trash. It was Berner's job to put it in the jars and create signs for the meds on the shelves. Through this, he realized that certain vibes enticed people, whereas others, not so much. Realizing the lack of actual branded flower products, Berner had a big idea. He had become friends with a cultivator named Ja, better known as Jigga, and was fond of his work. And in fact, he was so fond of his work, he made t-shirts of the first strand that Jigga ever brought to him, Cherry Kush. He would later wear one of them in his first music video, and with that, Cookies was conceptually born. You see, the problem is though, since cannabis is unfortunately still federally illegal, you can't process a trademark with the United States Patent and Trademark Office for a cannabis brand. You can, however, trademark a clothing brand that will prevent anyone else from using the name and profiting off of the work. So in response, Cookies San Francisco was legally formed. Cookies officially launched as a brand in 2012. During this time, Berner and Jigga introduced the world to what would later become one of the best-selling strands ever, the famous Girl Scout cookie, which interestingly enough had to be abbreviated to just GSC after the Girl Scouts of America threatened to sue, which I get. I truly do. I get it. But come on now, lame. With a combination of fire, gas, and on-point marketing, Cookies quickly became a success, managing to build a grassroots cult by remaining loyal to its initial promise, authenticity, and innovative strands. The popularity caused Cookies to go from 0 to 49 dispensaries between 2018 and 2022. The company has also added 2 flagship clothing stores in San Francisco and Los Angeles. Berner describes himself as a quote-unquote marketing machine. He wears the clothes in his videos, and his songs reference the strands that cookies have popularized, such as the aforementioned Girl Scout cookie, Gary Payton, Runts, and many others. He also created and stars in a YouTube series, Marijuana Mania, which explores the culture of weed around the world. But it's not just great marketing that causes fans to camp out overnight when Cookies offers new drops. I mean, sure, hype does play a role, but ultimately, it's the fact that the weed is fire that people keep coming back for. Over the years, Cookies has won numerous awards around the world, and their strands demand high prices on the street retail market as well. Cookies and its products are recognized globally and now offer a collection of over 150 cannabis varieties and product lines, including indoor and sun-grown flowers, pre-rolls, gel capsules, vape cartridges, CBD products, and medicinal mushrooms. And not to mention, the clothing wing brought in $50 million last year alone. Berner in an interview stated that as of now, the Cookies empire is worth $1 billion. And although they're not publicly traded, so there's no way of verifying this, I really don't see a reason to believe that they're too far off from those numbers. Thanks to bureaucrats and government red tape, the woes of the plant medicine business has been well documented. I mean, never underestimate the government's ability to take something good and just screw it up. The medical marijuana business is plagued with problems. Biggest of all are the taxes and government red tape. They force businesses to pay out so much and jump through so many hoops that it's often easier and more lucrative to buy and sell on the street, even in places where it's legal. But despite the headaches that many other dispensaries may be having, Cookies has big plans to continue expansion as more American states legalize plant medicine. The first Cookies product to be sold legally on the East Coast launched in Massachusetts in 2021, and the New York and New Jersey locations are next in line. They're also looking to open a third retail spot in Manhattan's Herald Square, right across the street from Macy's. With his business reaching the top of the game, Berner has been approached by investment firms looking to buy out his majority stake in Cookies. In fact, he notoriously passed on an $800 million offer from an unnamed publicly traded Canadian firm. The deal would have paid him $30 million up front, with the rest in stock options. But Berner turned it down. He seems aware of what he has in his hands, and he's unwilling to sell out to suits that don't really share in his dream. He stated his intentions on Cookies becoming a 100-year legacy brand, in what I, at least, hope becomes a continuously growing business, countrywide. But what do you think? Have you had a chance to partake in any of their products? Do you own any of the clothes? Hit us up in the comment section and let us know. And if you made it through this video, I hope that you already smashed the like button for us. Liking and sharing the videos is the best way to get the YouTube algorithms to continue to suggest us to more people, which helps us grow as a channel. We can't do it without you guys' help, and I thank you so much for all of the growth that you allowed us to achieve up until this point. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new video, then hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. That way you will be dinged when a new episode drops. And with that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out until next time. Peace.